Hello students. Today we will be solving Mathematics Syllabus D, Paper 1 from October-November 2020, Variant 2. Calculator is not permitted in this paper. Now let's look into the first question. It says evaluate 4 over 5 minus 2 over 3. So if we do the LCM for 5 and 3, we will get 15. So 4 3s are 12 and 2 5s are 10. So that will be 2 over 15, and that will be the answer for the first part of the question. Then we have evaluate 2.7 times 0.2. So 2.7 can be written as 27 over 10 and 0.2 can be written as 2 over 10. So that will be 54 in the numerator and 100 in the denominator. That means our final answer will be 0.54. Question number 2. Find the fraction which lies exactly halfway between 3 over 5 and 5 over 7. And we need to give our answer in its simplest form. So since it says exactly halfway, that means we need to add these numbers and divide it by 2. So 3 over 5 plus 5 over 7 over 2. The LCM for 5 and 7 will be 35. So 5 7s are 35 and 7 5s are 30. That will be, so 3 7s are 21 and 5 5s are 25. So 21 plus 25 over 35 divided by 2. 21 plus 25 is 46 over 35. And since we are dividing it by 2, we can also do the reciprocal of 2, which will be half. So then we can multiply with it. So that will be 46 over 35 times half. That will give us 23 over 35. And that will be our final answer. Question number 3, factorize 12t square minus 4t. So we can take 4t common from both of them, and then we will have 3t minus 1 within brackets. Next we have a times x minus y plus b times y minus x. If we expand the brackets, it will be ax minus ay plus by minus bx. Then we can bring all the x together. So ax minus bx. So basically I'm rewriting this equation. So ax minus bx minus ay plus by. Then we can take x common from both of them, and we will have x outside brackets and a minus b within brackets. And then we can take negative y common from both of these, and we will have a minus b within brackets. Since these are the same, now we can say that the factors are x minus y and a minus b. Next we have x square minus 2x minus 3. Or this can be written as x square minus 3x plus x minus 3. So we are doing middle term for this equation. Now if we take x common from these two, we will have x minus 3 within brackets. And if we take 1 common from both of them, we will still have x minus 3 within brackets. So the factors will be x plus 1 and x minus 3. Question number 4. Write these lengths in order of size, starting with the smallest. So we have 0.043 kilometer, 433 centimeter, 4340 millimeters, and 4/1/3 meter. So I'm converting all the values to millimeters, and that will be the easiest way to figure out. So 0.043 kilometer, we need to convert kilometer to meters, and then I'm converting meters to centimeters, and from centimeters I'm converting to millimeters. Hence I need to multiply 0.043 with 1000 first so that it gets converted to meters, and then again I'm multiplying with 100 to convert it to centimeter, and then I'm multiplying with 10 to convert it to millimeters. The resulting answer would be 43000 millimeters. 433 centimeter. To convert this to millimeters, I simply need to multiply with 10. So that will give me 4330 millimeters. And 4340 millimeters is already in millimeters, so we don't have to do anything with that. Next, we have 4 1/3 is basically 4.3333. So 4 this we need to multiply again, since this is in meters, we need to multiply with 100 so that it converts to centimeter, and then we need to again multiply with 10 to convert it to millimeters. So that will give us 4333.3 millimeters. Now we can clearly observe which one is the smallest. So 4330 is the smallest, and I'm considering that to be 1 just for explanation reasons. And then we will have this one, and then we will have 4340, and finally we will have 43,000 millimeters. But we must leave our answers with the values that was provided in the question. Hence, the first one was 433 centimeter. The second one would be 4 1/3 millimeter. The third one will be 4340 millimeters, and the fourth one will be 0.043 kilometers. Question number 5. Sandra buys a vase for $40 and sells it for $200. Calculate her percentage profit. So that will be the new price minus the price with which she bought it. So the selling price minus cost price divided by the cost price times 100. So that will give us 160 over 40 times 100. 40 times 4 should be 160, and 4 times 100 will be 400. So her profit was 400%. Question number 6. These are the minimum temperatures in degree centigrade recorded by a weather station each day during 1 week. Find the range of these temperatures. So first we need to look at the data. These are the raw data. So first we need to arrange them in ascending order, and then we can find the range. So amongst these numbers, minus 4.6 is the least, and then we have negative 3.5, then negative 2.4, negative 2.3, negative 1.4, negative 1.2, and then finally negative 0.7 is the highest one. So the range should be the maximum minus the minimum. So it will be minus 0.7 minus 0.46. So this double negative will make this a positive number. So we can say 4.6 minus 0.7. Therefore, the range should be 3.9 degree Celsius. Then we have how many of these temperatures are between negative 4 degree and negative 2 degree. So between negative 4 and negative 2, if you look at these numbers, there are only 3 possible numbers. Negative 2.3 is smaller than negative 2, and negative 3.5 is larger than negative 4.6. So there are 3 values within the range. Question number 7. By writing each number correct to one significant figure, estimate the value of this. So since we need to correct it to one significant figure, the second value is not affecting the first one, so it will remain just 6. And for 212, again, the second value is less than 5, so it will remain 200. And for 0.304, the second value after the first digit is less than 5, so it will be 0.300. Now we can simplify it. So this should be 6 square. We should not be doing anything with the power. The power will remain the same. So 6 square over 200 times, we can write it, we can write zero point 0.3 as 3 over 10. So 6 square over 200 times 3 over 10. And if we simplify, 200 divided by 10 is 20. So this will be 6 square over 20 times 3. 6 square is 36 and 20 times 3 is 60. And if we simplify this by dividing both the numerator and the denominator by 6, this will be 6 times 6 is 36 and 6 times 10 is 60. And then we can simplify it further by dividing both the numerator and denominator by 2, and that will give us 3 over 5. And that is the final answer. Question number 8. In the diagram, the time on the clock is 2:30 p.m. Calculate the reflex angle between the two hands of the clock. So we need to find the reflex angle, and they have also written it in bold format. So this is the angle that they're asking us to find out. And what we need to do, we need to first understand, like, what does the what will be the value of each angle between every hour. So there are 12 numbers in the clock. So if I divide the complete angle of a circle, which is 360, by 12, I'll get 30. So 30 is the angle for every hour. And since it says 2:30, since the clock says 2:30 p.m., that means we need to understand first how many points do we have. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, sorry. We need to count from here. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 points. And since it's 2:30, that means the hour hand went halfway between 2 and 3. Therefore, there will be 8.5. 8.5 between the two hands. Therefore, the angle will be 30 times 8.5, and 8.5 can be written as 8.5, or we can write it as 17 over 2. 8 to the 16 plus 1, 17. So now we can simplify it further. This will be 2 times 15 is 30. So now it will be 15 times 17. And since this is the paper 1, we are not allowed with a calculator, so we have to do the multiplication like this. So 15 times 17 will give me 255 degrees. So that is the reflex angle between the two hands. Question number 9. Simplify 3 times 3a minus 4 plus 2 times 2 minus a. So if we expand the brackets, this will become 9a minus 12 plus 4 minus 2a. So 9 minus 2a is 7a, and minus 12 plus 4 will be negative 8. So the answer will be 7a minus 8. Then we have given that 4x minus 3y, given that 4x is equal to 3y. We need to find the numerical value of 8x plus y over y. So 4x is equals to 3y, or we can make x the subject, and that will be now 3y over 4. Now if we substitute this value of x in this equation, it will become 8 times 3y over 4 plus y divided by y. So we can now simplify it. 4 to the 8, and 2 times 3 will be 6. So 6y plus y over y. That will give us 7y over y, which is now just 7. And as you can see in the question, it said find the numerical value. So you don't have to worry about it, because if you follow the rules that they have asked, you will eventually end up getting a numerical value. These two variables will cancel them. Now, next question, question number 10. Solve the simultaneous equation 3x minus 2y equals 12 and 4x plus y equals 5. So 3x minus 2y equals 12 can be written as, if we make x the subject, 2y plus 12 over 3, and let us consider that to be equation 1. And the equation 2 would be 4x plus y equals 5. Now, if I use equation 1 and 2 and I substitute the value of x into the second equation, then this will become 4 times 2y plus 12 over 3 plus y equals 5. So again, what I've done over here is I multiplied the 4 with the numbers inside, and this became 4 to the 8y plus 4 12 the 48. And if I do LCM, then this will become 3y, and then I can take the 3 from the denominator and cross multiply with number 5. So this will eventually become 8y plus 48 plus 3y equals 15. So I skipped a step, and you can also do that straight away. So if you're taking this 3 and you're multiplying with the 5, then what you need to do before you take it away, you must multiply with the value which does not have anything in the denominator. So 8y plus 3y will be 11y, and 15 minus 48 will give me negative 33. Therefore, y should be negative 33 over 11, which is negative 3. So that is the value of y. Now we can simply substitute this value of y into the equation 1, and that will be now 2 within brackets negative 3 plus 12 over 3, and that will give us 2, because 2 3s are 6, so 12 minus 6 is 6, divided by 3, 6 over 3 is 2. So the values for x and y are 2 and negative 3. Question number 11, it says express 340,000 in standard form. So we know that in standard form, we need to start with a digit, a number, and we need to place the decimal right after it. So if I put decimal over here, we need to count how many values are there after the decimal. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it will be 3.4 times 10 to the power 5. Then we have evaluate 4 times 10 to the power 7 over 8 times 10 to the power 21, giving your answer in standard form. So if we simplify this 4 and 8 by dividing both of them with the number 4, so 4 times 1 is 4 and 4 2 is 8. And then we still have 10 to the power 7 and 10 to the power 21. Let's separate this. I can also call this 1 by 2 as half times. If I bring this power to the numerator, then this will become 10 to the power 7 minus 21. And this can only be done if these two numbers are the same. So we will have 0.5 times 10 to the power negative 14. And as I said before, that standard form must start with a number other than 0. So if I have to write 0.5 times 10 to the power minus 14 in standard form, this will become 5.0 times 10 to the power negative 15. The reason because is I'm bringing the 5 before the decimal. And this is the explanation so that it helps you to understand it a bit more clearly. So we have zero point 0.5 times 10 to the power negative 14. Or I can write 0.5 as 5 over 10. Now if I bring 10 to the numerator, it will become 10 to the power minus 1. And we know that when we have a multiplication and we have the same numbers of different powers, we can add them. So 10 to the power minus 1 plus minus 14. So plus and minus will give me minus. So it will become 10 to the power minus 1 minus 14. Hence it becomes 5 times 10 to the power negative 15. Next part, we have 7 times 10 to the power a minus 3 times 10 to the power a minus 1 is equal to k times 10 to the power a. We need to find the value of k. So what we have done, so I have split this power 10 to the power a minus 1 can also be written as 3 times 10 to the power a times 10 to the power minus 1. So therefore, in the next step, what I can do is, if I bring this 10 to the power minus 1 in the denominator, it will become 10 to the power 1. So 3 over 10 is 0.3 and we still have 10 to the power a. Now if I take 10 to the power a common from both of them, then we will have 7 minus 0.3 within brackets, and also in the right hand side we have k times 10 to the power a. So since we have 10 to the power a getting multiplied on both sides, we can divide both sides by 10 to the power a and get rid of them. Then we will end up having 7 minus 0.3, which is 6.7, and that will be the value of k. Question number 12. Simplify 2x square within brackets to the power cube. So we need to multiply these two powers. Also, we need to give this power to the number 2 as well. So 2 cube will be 8 and x to the power 2 times 3 is 6. Next we have simplify 6t cube divided by 2/3 t square. So 6t cube divided by 2t square by 3, or we can write it as by, we have the, since we have a fraction getting divided, we can multiply with its reciprocal. So this will be 6t cube times 3 over 2t square, and we can divide 6 by 2. So 2 3s are 6, and this will become 3. And we have t square in the denominator and t cube in the numerator. So this will become just t, and then we have times. So 3 3s are 9, and we have the t, so it will be 9t. Question number 13. P is equal to these values from 1 to 8, and the value q has 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. We need to find the number of elements which will have P union Q. In such cases, we need to first understand, since they're talking about union, 1357 will be repeated. 1357 is common for both P and Q. So the number of elements for P union Q should be 10. And the reason is, if you can see the Venn diagram that I have drawn, 1357 is common, and this set belongs to P and this set belongs to Q. So in total, the number of elements is 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this whole thing is P union Q. For part B, it says P is an element of A intersecting B and Q is an element of A union B complement, and R is an element of A intersecting B complement. On the Venn diagram below, we write each of these letters P, Q, and R in its appropriate subset. So since P is an element of A intersecting B, it should lie over here. And A union B complement is everything outside A and B. So Q must lie within the universal set, which is over here. And R is an element of A intersecting B complement. So first we need to understand what is B complement. B complement is everything outside this circle B, but since it's getting since it's intersecting with A, that means it will be over here. Question number 14. This net is folded to make a triangular prism. Which vertices join with A? So for this we need to think properly. The answer should be E and G. So A will be joining with E and G. So if you look at this point A, you should understand that A will join with E and G. When you close this net, A will meet E and also G will meet E. They will all overlap each other once the net is closed to form a triangular prism. Similarly, it says which edge joins with DE. The answer should be AB. So if you look into this DE, this edge, once you fold the net, when it forms a triangular prism, AB will meet with the edge DE. It also says FH is 2 centimeter, GH is 2 centimeter, and JH, we need to find the volume of the triangular prism. So GH is 2, FH is 2, and this is JH will be 5. So when the prism is closed, they have already stated it will become a triangular prism. And we know that the volume of a prism is the cross-sectional area times the length. So the cross-sectional area will be of the triangle, and we know the area of a triangle would be half times base times height. So in the base we have 2 and the height is 2 and the length is 5. So therefore it will be half times 2 times 2 times 5, which will eventually give us 10 centimeter cube. Question number 15. 2 bags contain beads. The first bag contains 7 beads, of which 3 are red and 4 are white. The second bag contains 5 beads, of which 2 are red and 3 are blue. 1 bead is taken at random from each bag. The tree diagram is shown below. So they have already given us with the probabilities. What we need to do, find the probability that both beads are red. So we need to find the probability of red and red. So red and red, there can be only one possibility. And since it is this and this, we need to multiply them. So 3 over 7 times 2 over 5, which will give us 6 over 35. Then it says both beads are white. So we have only one white in the beginning and then we don't have any whites. So no whites afterwards means there is 0. So 4 over 7 times 0 will be 0. Then it says exactly one bead is red. So if since the question said that one bead is taken at random from each bag, that means we are taking 2 beads, one from the first bag and one from the second bag. So at the same time we also need to get exactly one bead from exactly one bead which should be red. So the options could be red and blue, or I can take white from the first bag and red from the second bag. So red and blue will be 3 over 7 times 3 over 5, and or means plus, so 4 over 7 times 2 over 5. So that will give us 9 over 35 plus 8 over 35. And that will give us eventually 17 over 35. The heights of a sample of plants were measured. The results are shown in the table and in the histogram. So we need to look at the histogram, and there is frequency density provided. That means these class widths were not equal. Now let's look into the first part of the question, which says use the histogram to find the value of P. So we know that in a frequency density graph, the area of the bar represents the frequency. So between 15 to 25, the area of the bar should be, we have 10 units in the width and 4 units as the height. So that will be 10 times 4, which is 40. So the value of P should be 40. Now we need to complete the histogram. So the missing value, the missing diagram that we have is over here. So frequency density, since this is the frequency density graph, we need to find the frequency density. So frequency density is frequency over class width. So this is the frequency, and the class width is 40 minus 25, which is 15. So that will be 30 over 15. Hence, the frequency density is 2. Now we can complete the histogram. So between 25 to 40, the height of the bar should be 2. Question number 17. The diagram shows the positions of 3 boats A, B, and C. So these are the 3 boats A, B, C. By measurement, find the bearing of B from A. So for this question, what you need to do, since it says bearing of B from A, so the angle will be starting from here up to here. The angle will form over here since it says from A. And we know that bearing is counted clockwise starting from north. And if you use your compass, you will get that this is 330. Then we have CX is the bisector of angle ACB. So CX is already provided, and that is the bisector of the angle ACB. Using compasses and a straight edge only, construct the locus of points inside triangle ABC that are equidistant from B and C. So equidistant from B and C means that we need to draw a perpendicular bisector from these 2 points. So when we draw a perpendicular bisector, the line would look something like this. And then it says a ship is nearer to AC than to BC. So nearer to AC than to BC means it will be within this region, because if this is the angle bisector for the lines AC and BC, so this part is closer to AC. Also, it says nearer to C than to B. So nearer to C is this side than to B. With the help of this perpendicular line, I can clearly see that all the points over here are closer to B and all the points over here are closer to C. So since it says that shade the region in which this ship is situated, so we have to consider the region which satisfies both of these statements, and both of this statement is satisfied over here. This region is closer to AC than to BC. Also, this side or this region is closer to C than to B. Question number 18. It says the diagram is the distance time graph of Safira's journey from home to a shop and back again. Always make sure in such questions you need to understand first what type of graph is being provided to you. Not necessarily you will always have speed time, velocity time graphs. Sometimes you might have distance time graph, and we know that all these graphs are different from each other. So then says that she leaves home at 8:15 and returns at 8:50. So this is the journey for Safira in the which is provided with the black line. So she leaves at 8:15 and she comes back at 8:50. How many minutes does she stay in the shop? So she stays for 5 minutes because when she's traveling, the distance is increasing, of course. And when she has reached the shop, she's staying in the shop, she's not going anywhere. And she was there between 8:30 and 8:35. So she was there for just 5 minutes. After that, she returned to her home. Then it says at 8:30, her brother leaves home and goes to the shop. He walks at the same speed as Safira. On the grid, draw the graph of his journey to the shop. Okay, so he starts his journey at 8:30 and he goes to the shop. That means the distance to the shop will be the same. Also, it says that he walks at the same speed as Safira. So the gradient of the line will be the same as the gradient of the line of Safira. So if we follow the same gradient, he will reach there at 8:45. Then it says, how far is he from the shop when he meets Safira? For this, the answer will be 400. And let me show you how. So when he's traveling, Safira is returning. And as you can see that when he has reached 400 meter after leaving home, she came back to that position. Sorry, the question says, how far is he from the shop when he meets Safira? So this is the point where they meet. And when they meet, the question says, how far is he from the shop? So right now, when he meets, he is at 800 meters and the shop is at 1200 meters. So the distance from the shop is 400 meters. Hence, the answer is 400 meters. Then it says, calculate the speed of Safira, walks to the shop, give your answer in kilometer per hour. So our graph is drawn in the format of meters over here in the y-axis. So we must make sure that we leave our answers in kilometer per hour eventually. So now let's look into the question once more. So we need to find the speed of Safira. So the gradient of the line is the speed. So, but first let's convert this meters to kilometers. So 1200 meters, that is how far the shop is. So 1200 meters divided by 1000 will give me 1.2, and that is the distance in kilometers. And we know that speed is distance over time. So the time she took was from 8:15 to 8:30, and that is quarter of an hour. So this is in kilometers and this is in hours. So 1.2 over quarter of an hour. So since I am dividing a fraction, I can also multiply with its reciprocal, and that it will make 1.2 times 4, which is 4.8. And this was also working for the conversion of minutes to hours. So we had 15 minutes. So in order to convert it to hours, I can simply divide it by 60 minutes, and that will give me 1/4 of an hour. Question number 19. Triangle A, triangle B, and the point P minus 2, 2 are drawn on the grid. So this, and the point is being provided in the question. Describe fully the single transformation that maps triangle A onto triangle B. So this is the triangle, and we need to state the transformation with which B is being formed. So it is a reflection along the x-axis. Along the x-axis, the object A is getting reflected to form the image B. Then it says write down the matrix that represents this transformation. For this, you can do a quick check. So this is the identity matrix. This point represents 1, 0, and this point represents 0, 1. Since it's a reflection, so the point on the x-axis will stay as it is. This will come over here since it's getting reflected along the x-axis. So this point will then become 0, minus 1. Hence, our matrix for this particular reflection should be 1, 0, 0, minus 1. Then it says triangle A is mapped onto triangle C by an enlargement. Center P, scale factor negative half. And we know that when a scale factor is negative, then the image will be on the opposite side of the center and it will be inverted. So we need to draw the triangle C. So this is the center P and this is triangle A. So for this, let me explain you how I have managed to find the triangle C. The scale factor is negative half. So first let's count this particular point from the center P. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 units to the right. So now we need to divide 4, or we can multiply 4 with half. So 4 times half will give us 2. But since it is negative, the scale factor is negative, we need to go the opposite way. So this will be 2 units towards the left. 1, 2. So this point will end up here after the transformation. Similarly, let's look into this point. Again, the scale factor is minus half. So this point lies 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2. So 4 units to the right and 2 units above. So after you multiply these values with the scale factor negative half, you will get 4 times negative half is negative 2, and 2 times negative half will be negative 1. So I need to go 2 units to the left, 1, 2, and 1 unit below. So this is the point where it will come after the transformation. Last but not the least, let's look into this point now. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 units from the center P. That means it will go 8 times negative half is negative 4. So it will go 4 units to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's how you get all the points and you join them to form the triangle C. And make sure that you label the triangle C. Question number 20. Pattern 1, pattern 2, pattern 3, pattern 4 pattern 4 was not provided, only these 3 patterns were provided. The diagram shows a sequence of patterns. Each pattern has 1 more row and 2 more dots in each row than the pattern before it. On the diagram, draw pattern 4. So you can see that how the pattern is being formed. So this was 1, then we had 3 in the bottom, then we had 5. So it was 1, 3, 5. Naturally, the next pattern will have 7. And in this direction, we had 1, 2, then 1, 2, 3, then we had 1, 2, 3, 4. So there will be 5 in the pattern 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is the answer to the first part of the question. Then it says, complete the table for the first 4 patterns in this sequence. So the missing numbers were these 5. So number of rows in the 4th pattern, the number of rows, these are the number of rows, the horizontal ones. So there are 5 rows, and number of dots in each row. For pattern 3, there are 5 dots in each row. And for pattern 4, there are 7 dots in each row. So the total number of dots will be, we simply need to multiply the dots in the horizontal direction and the vertical direction. So 5 times 4 is 20 and 7 times 5 is 35. So these are the total number of dots found in pattern 4, and these are the total number of dots found in pattern 3. Then it says find an expression in terms of n for p. So this is what we need to figure out. So we have the expression of p should be n plus 1, n representing the number of pattern. So for the first pattern, if we put the value 1, so it will be 1 plus 1, that will give us 2. For the pattern 2, there are 3 rows, so 2 plus 1 is 3. For the pattern 3, it will be 3 plus 1, that is 4 rows. And eventually, for the pattern 4, this will be 4 plus 1, which will give us 5 rows. Then it's asking find an expression in terms of n for q. So since it's increasing by 1, 3, 5, 7, there is an arithmetic progression going on over here, and the common difference between them is 2. So if we think of the arithmetic progression formula, it will be a plus n minus 1 into d, where a is the first term. So the first term is 1, then we have n minus 1, and the common difference is 2. So if you expand them, it will eventually become 1 plus 2n minus 2. Finally, it will become 2n minus 1. So this is how the number of dots in each row is progressing. Finally, we need to find an expression in terms of n for the total number of dots in pattern n. So what have we done to find previously the total number of dots in the patterns? We simply multiplied this and this to get the value 20, and to get the value of 35, we multiplied 7 times 5. Similarly, since we are asked to express this in terms of n, we can simply multiply p and q. So p was n plus 1 and q was 2n minus 1. So your final answer could be this, or you can simply multiply them and eventually simplify, and you will get 2n squared plus n minus 1. Question number 21. It says, the diagram shows a triangle formed by joining the points A, B, and C, and these are their respective coordinates. The equation of the line BC is 2x plus 3y equals 32. So this is the equation of the line they have provided. The region inside triangle ABC is defined by 3 inequalities. One of these is 2x plus 3y less than 32. Write down the other 2 inequalities. So first, let's do the easy one. We can see that this horizontal line represents y equals to 2. As you can see, the coordinate over here for y is 2 as well. The coordinate for the y coordinate for B is also 2. That means this line is definitely a horizontal line with the equation y equals to 2. And since the region lies above y equals to 2, that means it will represent y is greater than 2. For the part AC, first we need to figure out the equation of the line, and then we can do the inequality. So the coordinate of A was 1, 2, and the coordinate for C was 4, 8. So we are using the formula y minus y1 over y2 minus y1 equals x minus x1 over x2 minus x1. So I'm considering this to be x1, y1, and this is x2, y2. Then we will have y minus 2 over 8 minus 2 equals x minus 1 over 4 minus 1. 8 minus 2 will be 6, and I need to cross multiply with this x minus 1, so it will be 6 times x minus 1. 4 minus 1 is 3, so I need to cross multiply 3 with y minus 2, and this will become 3 times y minus 2. Then we can expand the brackets. It will be 3y minus 6 equals 6x minus 6. And eventually, if I add positive 6 on both sides, they will cancel out. Then I will be left with only 3y equals 6x. And if I divide both sides by 3, I will end up getting y equals to 2x. So the equation for the line AC is y equals to 2x. And since the shaded region lies below the line y equals to 2x, and y is positive, of course, so that means the region represented by the inequality will be y is less than 2x. The point K7, where k is an integer, lies inside the triangle ABC. Find the possible values of k. So for this, let's look into the equations first that we have already found. One of the equation was y is less than 2x, and 2x plus 3y is less than 32. If I consider the y coordinate and substitute it in this equation, it will eventually become 7 less than 2x. And for this, if I substitute again the value of y in this equation, it will become 2x plus 3 times 7 less than 32. So 2x is now greater than 7 if I simply rearrange the equation. That will give me x is greater than 3.5. And for this, it will become 2x plus 21 less than 32. Or I can say 2x is less than 11. Therefore, x is less than 5.5. We must make sure that the value of k is integer. So, the possible values of k between 3.5, x is greater than 3.5 and less than 5.5. So, the integer values between 3.5 and 5.5 are 4 and 5. So these are the possible values of k which lies inside the triangle ABC. Question number 22. It says, in the diagram, A, B, C, D, and E lie on the circle. So A, B, C, D, and E lie on the circle, and their center is O. It's given that AOB is 48 degree, DEB is 54 degree. So these two angles are given. First, we need to find the value of x, which is this angle. Always remember that these kind of triangles, which is formed with the help of two radius and a chord, will always be definitely an isosceles triangle, unless the chord is also the same length as the radius. Then it will be an equilateral triangle. So if I consider this to be an isosceles triangle, since OA and OB are equal because they are the radius, I can say that if this is x, this angle OBA is also x. So first, let's find the total of these two angles. The total angle of a triangle is 180. So 180 minus 48 will give me the sum of these two angles, which is 132. And since it's an isosceles triangle, the opposite angles of the equal sides should be equal. That means I just need to divide 132 by 2 to get the individual angles, and that should be 66. Then we have find y. So we need to find this angle. This angle is subtended by the point B and D. Also, the angle E got subtended by B and D. So we can think of the rule which says angle at the center is twice the angle at the circumference. So it should be 54 times 2, which is 108. Next it says find Z. So this is the angle that we need to find. If you simply focus on the quadrilateral B, C, D, and E. So BCDE is a cyclic quadrilateral because all the vertices are touching the circumference of the circle. So we know that opposite angles of a cyclic quadrilateral are will add up to 180. So that means 54 and 7 will add up to 180. Therefore, Z should be 180 minus 54, which will give us 126. Question number 23. It says in the diagram, the circles with center O and Q touches at P, where OPQ is a straight line. The line ORT intersects the smaller circle at R. So the line intersects the smaller circle at R and is a tangent to the larger circle at T. So this line is also a tangent to the circle, to the larger circle. It's given that OR is 4, this is 4, RT is 6, The radius of the larger circle is x centimeter. So if this is the radius, this is also the radius. QT and QP are the radius. So if this is x, this is also x. We need to find the value of x. If you look closely, you need to understand that radius and tangent meet at 90 degrees. Therefore, we can use the rules of Pythagoras. So that means x square plus 6 plus 4 whole square equals to x plus 4 whole square. This is the length of the hypotenuse. X plus 4 is the hypotenuse. And these are the other two sides. So x square plus 6 plus 4 whole square should be equal to x plus 4 whole square. So 6 plus 4 is 10. So it will be x square plus 10 square plus x plus 4 whole square. 10 square is 100. So it will be x square plus 100 equals, if I expand this bracket, it will be x square plus 8x plus 16. And since I have x square on both sides, I can cancel them. And then I will have 8x equals to 100 minus 16 will give me 84. So x will be 84 over 8. Or I can simplify it by dividing the numerator and denominator by 4. And I will be getting 21 over 2. So x is 10.5 centimeter. Question number 24. We are provided with the matrix A. We need to find A square. So that means we need to multiply A with itself, and we will get 2 times 2 is 4, 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. So 4 plus minus negative 3 will be 4 minus 3. And then 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 minus negative 2 is negative 2. So 2 plus minus negative 2 is 2 minus 2. Minus 3 times 2 is minus 6. Minus 2 times minus 3 will be positive 6. So minus 6 plus 6 will be minus 6 plus 6. And then we have minus 3 times 1 is negative 3. And minus 2 times minus 2 will be positive 4. So minus 3 plus 4 will give me minus 3 plus 4. If I simplify it further, it will become 1, 0, 0, 1. Then it says the matrix X satisfies the equation X. Then we have this matrix, and this was the matrix for A. It's the same matrix as A. That will be equal to 0, 2. We need to find X. So for this, what I have done, I'm considering let 0, 2, this matrix, to be Z. So I can say this is XA equals Z. So if I multiply A inverse on both sides, I'll end up getting XA A inverse equals Z A inverse. And we know that A inverse is identity matrix. So we can ignore this value altogether. It will become just X. And we will still have Z A inverse on the right side. So now we can put the values of the matrix. Z is 0, 2, A inverse. I have worked out A inverse over here. If A is 2, 1, minus 3, minus 2, A inverse will be 1 over AD minus BC. So AD is 2 times minus 2 is minus 4. Minus BC will be minus 3 times 1 is minus 3. So double negative will give me a positive. So minus 4 plus 3. And these two values will swap. Minus 2 will come over here and 2 will come over here. This is what has happened. And these two values will change their signs. So 1 became negative 1 and negative 3 became positive 3. So 1 over negative 4 plus 3 will give me negative 1. And then we still have inside minus 2 minus 1, 3, 2. This whole thing will become negative 1. So if I need to multiply negative 1 with each of the elements inside this matrix, it will become positive 2, positive 1, negative 3, negative 2. So this is the value of A inverse. Now I can multiply it with Z to get the value of X. So 0 times 2 is 0, plus 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. 0 times 1 is 0, plus 2 times negative 4 is negative 4. So it will be 0 minus 6, which is minus 6, and 0 minus 4, which is minus 4. So that will be the answer for X. And that will be all for now. I will see you in the next video.